The police have provided the names of 2 of the 3 officers arrested over the fatal shooting of Kolade Johnson in Lagos. The officers involved were taken into custody as part of the initial police response to the killing that gripped the country and sparked nationwide outrage. The police say both were part of a patrol team of the Special Anti-Cultism Squad that shot Mr. Johnson. 36-year-old Mr. Johnson died after being hit by a stray police bullet near a football viewing center on Sunday evening. And still on Kolade Johnson's killings by alleged members of the anti-cultism unit in the police force, we had a security expert, Patrick Adenusi, who commended President Buhari for being proactive and called for total restructuring of the force. There has been nationwide backlash over this incident, which brings to the fore yet again the spate of senseless killings unaccounted for.
Now, this has happened again. Who takes the fall? How do we begin to understand this response to criminal elements, if that is even the case?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, we are in a very terrible situation in the country. I'm excited that the presidency issued a statement. Prior to this, you would have had a perfect silence from the presidency. So that has put it now that the highest organ and from the office of the CNC himself, that steps are being taken to ensure that these abuses are curtailed. And it's another sad story that has involved another set of policemen. This calls for restructuring and retraining of these military,
so you're telling me you wouldn't rather push for a total scrap of SARS?
No, there are criminal elements, and there has to be agents of the state that has to ensure that those elements are contained. All over the world, they have different agencies that does that. So we might not necessarily call for scrapping of SARS. If we scrap SARS, the criminals will take over the...
To what extent now do you expect the body language of the new IGP to be in response to this situation as well? Because we have 3 officers involved in this shooting as well. How do you expect him to handle the situation, ensuring that it goes beyond just arrest, we have due investigation, and whoever is found culpable is brought to justice? Yeah,
well, beyond body language can be saying something and the verbal and the actions might just be completely different. So what the new potential IGP should do is to ensure that the operations of the police as a whole and special focus on the SARS, and now we have heard that it is not SARS, it is anti-cultism unit. They need to work hand in hand with the National Orientation Agency. Now, unfortunately, we talk less to the citizens and we apply the sledgehammer. So if National Orientation Agency has gone ahead to do a very good reorientation program, then it becomes an easy thing for the police to do their jobs.
Are you blaming now the people? Are you saying that our approach to these operatives as well is what causes them to respond in the violent manner? Because the average Nigerian, some would say, will resist when you first stop them.
Sometimes, yes. Most times, a policeman stops you and the next question to him is, why are you stopping me? That's his job. He's doing his job. He stops you, you have stopped. Then let him say the next thing why he has stopped you. It's just common sense, it's communication. So by the time you put an attack to him, he's going to also come with a counter-attack.
What about crowd management? Because if this was a case of a stray bullet, as the police has said it is, how then should we be managing such situations? Because we hear that the individual who was that's Kolade, who was trying to stop and inquire from the police why his friend was being arrested, was the one who rather got the hit. So we can't say, we've had varied reports as to how this stray bullet even hit him in the first place. But now, how should we also be managing the crowd, or how do we also respond as well? Because you can't just disperse by shooting in the air or on the ground or anywhere else. We should have better means of managing crowds.
Yeah, well, there are various ways of managing crowd. We have to have done a lot of enlightenment campaign before any incident. if you observe today in the country, when anything happens, you just see a large number of people gathers. That is not a good one. It's not safe for us as a citizen. But now, in this particular situation, yes, they are arresting someone. He's your friend. You don't go to an armed person and asking him, why are you arresting my friend? He's doing his job. Maximum thing you should do at that point in time is, okay, where are you guys from? Please, can we know your identity? Because these operatives were not wearing uniform. They dress casually like you and I. Okay, where are you from? Who are you? And the reason we're asking is so that we can probably inform our elder brothers or our sisters or our lawyers, this is the place where Kolade has been taken to. I mean, that's just using him as an example. But crowd gathering, all of them shouting that, oh, you guys are not going anywhere, only, and all of that, those are things that will aggravate the policemen. There are better ways to disperse the crowd. They should have things like tear gases in their operational vehicles. So you don't need to fire live bullets.
You can't have tear gas where they are watching football or a game. But some would also say aggression meets aggression is usually the case that we have in Nigeria. But to what extent now do you expect the 9th National Assembly to push this police reform bill, and you say you don't expect a total scrap? To what extent do you think we should be seeing bills, conversations to ensure that we see a reform of this units of the police force?
It is one to come up with a bill, it is another for it to be properly implemented. The police people are our friends, like we are told. We need to also relate with them in the same manner. But I do seriously think that 99% of Nigerian policemen needs to be retrained. All of them needs to be retrained. Now, the more training that they get, the more we're in a civilian era, so you don't necessarily need to apply force to have your job done. Do you understand? So now, reform,